So I just realized my previous Galaxy's Edge video was all jumpy and blocky and horrible and not moving and everything else. So I'm doing it again, and here we go. Yeah, so this is going to be other people have been in Galaxy's Edge over and over again and beyond and beyond. But I just wanted to give my view and what I thought about it. Because I know that Jeremy, I just saw his video, which is why I checked my video. He just did a video about the Galaxy's Edge, the crowds not being, very big or anything else. I know the first weeks, everybody was diving in to get, the reservations, right? Because that's the only way you're going to be getting in there. So all the crazy fan people are going to be going to want to get in. And then there were people who had groups. I talked to some people. They had groups. Okay, they had 4 people in the group. Each one of the people in the group made a separate reservation at the hotel every night because you couldn't book a hotel room in your name and then come back and book another hotel room and still get into reservation at Galaxy's Edge. So it's like I kept seeing videos of people that have been in there 4 and 5 days when we were supposed to have reservations. I'm like, well, what is that all about? Well, it's because they were doing this, booking the ultra expensive rooms. These were people that had big Disney channels. I'm sure they're using their money from their patrons or whatever to go and do this and to get into Galaxy's Edge over and over again and pay for their lightsaber and their droid and everything else. And then, you write that off on your taxes as a business expense, for your channel and everything else. I know how it works. Okay. So, but anyway, we got in there and, we were wandering around here. I got, pictures up. I think the problem last time with my previous video was that I was using Lightroom to run the pictures, and Lightroom is a memory hog. And I think it was kind of messing things up. So now I'm just viewing them. Okay, so we've got some droids, some mech droids from, some of the prequel films that were here. That's the probe droid and a bunch of other droids that are around here. And they make noises and do different things all along, all while you're there. So this is kind of some of the good things. There's a lot of detail. All the detail just in this little spire that's here, the detail in the TIE fighter ship that's there. The stormtroopers go around, and if you're dressed, depending on how you're dressed, if you're kind of a rebellion kind of dress, they'll give you a hard time. If you're more Empire or that side of things, then if you're First Order or something, which I never saw really anybody with anything First Order much as t-shirts wise or anything, really no. Then they would kind of, be nice to you. So they're actually doing kind of, their part and things. The area is just, there's some big, gigantic walking areas in there. So they at least did that, had enough area to try and put people. Like when we got there, they kind of did a thing where our group was overlapped by the previous group for an hour. So trying to get in and do anything for the first hour was pointless. They actually ran out of the ability to get into the cantina, which we wanted to do. So they ran out of passes to get into the cantina, and there was still probably 500 people in line. So that they didn't plan out very well. So here's the TIE fighter. Of course, it's the Kylo Ren TIE fighter ship, because really there is nothing in here that's original. You'll see some things maybe somewhere that's a little bit of maybe Darth Vader-ish, or they had R2-D2 who's from the original trilogy, but really nothing really else. They had those other mech droids from the prequels, but in general, no. Then they have Kylo Ren come out and do a little stage performance thing and force, the commander there to send the stormtroopers off. This is part of a panorama. So as I go along, there's the detail back inside there was just amazing. How detailed it was and everything else. Just all of that. How there's, aging and wearing and burn marks and stuff like that on all these things. Just like here's where obviously the Millennium Falcon got hit by a blaster underneath there. I mean, things like that, all this, like this has been in the rain, or something, or there's chemicals that have spilled there. I mean, they had all this stuff. And they even have little plants kind of growing out the wall, stuff like that. I mean, just the detail in all of these little, I mean, they could have just stamped this out, and made it all just kind of one thing, but no, it's like each individual little piece. I mean, I'm sure if we went back to the film and looked at pictures in the film, it would probably look almost identical to what it is in the film. They really, really like went crazy with it in the detail area. And where you are in here, like these doors look like they've opened and closed a lot and everything else, because they got scrapes and stuff from like they've been opening and closing, but they're not. They never open. It's just decoration, right? They're not actually doors. So there's a bunch of other little things sitting around here, like people have been playing, cards at this table inside here. All the detail inside here, and droids and stuff, and levers and everything else. The droids actually kind of move around and do some things inside there a little bit. But you can't, from when inside this area, you really cannot hear or see or know that you're at Disneyland. There's just nothing, you can't, you're that far away, and there's enough foliage and trees and everything else. I mean, if you look, at some points you can look out and you can see the top spires of, Thunder Mountain. And that's about it. And if it's really in an area quiet, the train goes by, you might hear the train, but that's all right. So even like the little ventings here, they look like they've been burnt, because they've been, producing some kind of, exhaust or something there and stuff. Just the detail of all of this just is crazy. I mean, this is obviously why it took so long to make. And then they got the little guy up here who's, the animatronic, and he's there to tell you how everything works and everything else. And welcome, we got to get this shipment out and everything else. So my party, I was the only one that was going on the ride, because, we don't know what's the nausea factor, right? I mean, if you've been on the other, Star Wars rides and other motion type rides, because that's what this is. This is that motion simulation kind of ride. So if you get sick on those, you're going to get sick on this. So I was I mean, you can look inside the Millennium Falcon. I mean, you can just see the walls look like you're inside the Millennium Falcon. I mean, it just looks like, okay, we're here. Then inside here, there's a cargo bay kind of thing that has a few different cargo pieces. And then there's that's us. We don't need to be us. Then there's, the sitting area for the, the chess game that everybody, is getting their picture in. I mean, this just looks like the ship, right? I mean, the detail and everything inside here is just crazy, crazy, amazing. I mean, it's like they took, the pieces of the set of the ship and stuff and just put them into the whole thing. So that's like a panorama that I've kind of stitched together. So it, you can just see, this is getting later on in the day a little bit, because all the other people from the other group had left, and there's just lines and stuff for people getting their pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon by the photo pass people. But that's probably the biggest thing, is the detail of what is there. I mean, it is just completely amazing. It's total, complete immersion. There's the image redone and kind of photo adjusted a little bit for lighting. I mean, stuff. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is just like, it's like you are there. Like, you're in a galaxy far, far away. And once you get past that, all there is really expensive items for sale. No original trilogy items, no prequel items, only Batu related items, and either Resistance or First Order items. Like you could buy a First Order outfit for $150 or something like that. I don't know why you would want to buy that for $150, but that was, just kind of what was there. So the stores were really small and kind of off to the side, so you don't even, it's like, is there a store here? What is this? Here this I'm going through just more of the pictures in that generated the panorama. I'm trying to get by them, but so if you wanted to go and say, I need a new Darth Vader keychain, or I need, Princess Leia or a Luke Skywalker something T-shirt or something like that. You can't go here. You cannot go here. You have to go to Star Traders over in Tomorrowland. You cannot go here. You're not going to find it here. So, yeah, okay, the land is incredible. The detail and everything that they went through. This little droid here is running the, rotisserie of meat that's on there. It's fake meat, of course, and then it's all being heated by this pod race engine that's producing heat to kind of cook it. That's kind of how they've set that up. But and it's kind of cute. I mean, it's like once you've been there and seen it and went and they didn't have blue milk. I think they ran out of blue milk, or their blue milk was busted, and so we had to have green milk or whatever. So I'm like, whatever. So it's just frozen fruit juice stuff. So, okay, that's fine. But most of the things that are in there, being vegetarian, gluten-free, and dairy-free, I can't eat anyway. So, plus I don't really want to pay that much money. I mean, that's a lot of the food in there. It's like a little teeny tiny thing of the blue milk was like $9, something like that's, ridiculous. I got better things. I'll try it once, right? And that's the problem, right? I think that we're going to see is I'll try it once. Yeah, I had the blue milk. It's $9. I got better things to do with $9, right? I'm not so into the blue milk that I need to keep dropping $9 for this stuff, for a little tiny cup of this stuff, right? I mean, yeah, no, just not, but they did have, an X-Wing sitting here. They had some other, their land speeder ships sitting out here in the one kind of forest area. So there's two different areas. There's a little forest area, and there's the little speeder. There's the forest area, and then there's the Batu City area. And the forest area is going to kind of be, once they get the ride going, it's going to kind of be the resistance area. And then the other side there's a little bit of like kind of not really, I guess, sort of resistance area, and then there's another big first order area down on the end of that. So, and that's one of the first order end of it, where the TIE fighter is and everything. And then inside, I mean, even the controls, I mean, look at the detail inside of the Millennium Falcon. I mean, there's controls and lights and everything, just like, the Millennium Falcon had and stuff. You can see there's lights inside there and stuff. So, the detail and stuff is just amazing. There's ships that are up on top of one of the restaurants, and here's just this, marketplace in here, which just has all these lights and everything else. It was starting to get a little bit darker, so all the lights are coming on, and it was amazing how the detail. Here's some of the items that they have for sale, right? So this is outside as it's starting to get dusk. Then all the lights on some of these things start turning on, and there's like lights in the backdrop and stuff that are lighting up things. I take like 300 pictures of everything. So, and the trees have lights on them, and then you can see things in the background. It provides a lot of depth and everything inside this. So with all this lighting and how things go through everything, I mean, just look at this. I mean, just looking in there, it's like, okay, you're in a marketplace, and your people are in there buying stuff and looking at stuff and everything else. So, I mean, it is really, really amazing. But you have to be in the, Batu kind of framework, and you cannot be looking for anything that is original trilogy or prequel to buy or to experience. The ride is all about getting, freight delivered somewhere and getting through that and asteroid fields and everything else. But it's resistance. It's not, the rebellion at all. The Millennium Falcon that's sitting out in the front of, the big, huge, gigantic Millennium Falcon has this rectangular little dish on top of it, which means it's, Disney Star Wars. It's like they're just not gonna let you, like anything else. So we did get one of these crazy $4 little sodas in the little. See if I can stick this somewhere where you can see it. $4 soda things in, which is ridiculous for a little teeny tiny soda thing. I'm just like, wow, But, okay. So there's roaming cam. Okay. So roaming cam is working. Okay. So that's the little guy. I mean, he just fell off the thing. So let me grab it. Ugh. I mean, it's cute. I only bought one because, I don't want to go crazy buying it. I mean, it just has the little top is just like a big, you can see inside there's like the regular cap, and then it just has this other piece glued on top of it kind of thing. So that's kind of cheesy, but we did buy the pins. So we did buy some pins. Okay, so this is it's a Galaxy's Edge Landing 2019 pass holder limited release pin right there. So that's that one. Pass holder limited release, has a little Millennium Falcon flying across the top of it. Okay, so then there is another pass holder limited release, says cleared for landing, has a Millennium Falcon. If you turn the Millennium Falcon to the side, then the little bottom part drops down, and inside there it will say Blackspire Outpost 5/31/19 for the opening day, and then you gotta turn the Millennium Falcon to the side and then lock it back so that it doesn't open. And then there's the Galaxy's Edge. This is the limited release first day issue opening day pin. So we were there a week ago, which was fun with my back because I had to have a wheelchair around in the park, which is kind of fun to have gone through the park in a wheelchair. So that was, anyway. So they still had these. So it's been like a month and they still had these. So these are not, what does that say? That the first day limited release pin that you come out with is still available, like everywhere in the park, like everywhere you go. A lot of places that you would go, you would see, oh wow, they still have these, everywhere. So it's kind of, I don't know if there's just no drive to purchase them, or they like overproduced them or something. I don't know, but yeah. So the other ride that is not open yet, which is going to be called Rise of the Resistance or something like that, is just going to be kind of a people mover-ish ride where everybody gets in a little car and moves through. And it's going to be a resistance thing, and you're going to be trying to get away from the First Order. It's not going to be Darth Vader. It's not going to be anything, classic Star Wars. They're trying to, I think, to erase all of that. I mean, there are rumors that they're going to try and remake the original trilogy, which again, they're just going to try and erase it from everybody and just not, we're back to the beginning of the pictures. So we did talk to one of the people that we know at the park who is very excited about it. He's pretty high up in the park. He's in charge of one of the areas in the whole front of Main Street, and it's one of the chefs that's there. We actually have a breakfast that is named for our group, so we have our own personal breakfast because of our diet and stuff. They make us our own special breakfast. So if you go there and you order the hillbilly breakfast, then you'll get cauliflower and broccoli, mushrooms, onions sauteed together, and eggs and gluten-free roll and stuff like that. And we don't even look at the menu. We just order what we want when we get there. But so if you want something like that, then go ahead and tell them that you need to order a gluten-free breakfast and you want the hillbilly breakfast, and then they'll, especially if Mark, I think, or Mike or something like that, or John is back there. Yeah, John, one of the chefs back there. He knows how to do it really well. And of course, the head chef knows how to do it really well. But anyway, I digress. But our chef friend told us that all of the people that are back in Galaxy's Edge actually have to go through an 8-hour course in order to be and work in Galaxy's Edge. So everybody's had a lot of training for what the area is, where things are, how to use the app, because that was the other thing about using the app. There's all these barcodes, little QR code things all over the place that you go scan, and you do some little unlocking things, and then be able to get, parts and stuff and things in the app, and then through that you build different things in the app. But which was kind of fun. But after you do that, and then you go through the shops and you realize, okay, everything here is about twice the price of the other part of Disneyland, and none of it is stuff that I want, because none of it is original trilogy, merchandise. None of it. I mean, you could buy the droids, you could make an R2-D2. Okay, fine. The lightsabers, you can make whatever, of the 5 or whatever flavors of lightsaber that you want to get, and then buy extra crystals for them. Okay, you can do that, but that's $200 for a lightsaber, $100 for a droid, which I'm not doing. Because why? What am I going to do with that? But everything else is, they said, well, it's all kind of like stuff that would be in this outpost. Okay, but it's not stuff that people want. I mean, there's little trinkets and stuffed things and whatever and all that, but I mean, some of them are from, original series, original trilogy, and some of them are from prequel, but not much. Most of them are, all the Disney property stuff, not, and nothing else. So that's, it's really, that's where I see that it is really going to wear out fast. I mean, after you've been there a couple of times, you're going to go, okay, well, we can go. We're planning, of course, to take our phones one day, bring our battery packs, and go through every little QR code thing that we can find on every single item. And there's little doors that you can unlock and different things like that. So we're going to go through all of that. But after we do that one time, then what? You can go to the cantina and get a drink, but I think those drinks are like 16, 17, 18, $20. I can buy a regular bottle of something outside the park, for that money. What I think the novelty of it is going to wear off fast. So there's always going to be people who haven't been there because it's new, so it's going to continue to have some traffic in there. But I think as far as annual pass holders in Southern California that are going there, that packed the place, like they did in the first opening, I really think that's, and from reports, from what I hear, that's what it is. It's wearing off pretty fast. So, all right. But anyway, that's kind of our thoughts and what we experienced. Other than it being crazy, I mean, it took us like 35 minutes to get on the Smuggler's Run thing, which was okay. I mean, I was the right-hand, pilot. So I think if I hadn't have been the pilot, the pilot is where you go up and down, right? And usually the down part on most of those rides is when it hits you with, kind of the motion sickness gets going. But since I knew when it was going to go down, I was the one pushing forward to make the ship go down, I knew it was what was happening. I was there to brace myself. I still got sick, but I can't imagine what it's going to be for the engineers and the gunners behind me, or the other pilot who's steering right and left, right? So it just gets to be, I don't know. If you're doing something, supposedly, you probably won't get that sick, but still, I was. My wife, when I came out, was like, "Well, you're white as a sheet." I'm like, "Yeah, that was not, it was okay, but whew, that's, not what I want to do again." So, but yeah. So, I mean, the other ride, the Rise of the Resistance ride, is just going to be kind of a slow-moving car. Then you get out of that, I guess, and move to some other area in another little slow-moving car or something. I don't know. But it's not going to be, the motion ride like this one was. I mean, they made such a big deal of it from, NVIDIA being involved and having all these GPUs and everything else and stuff. It is not stopping people from getting sick, right? I mean, it's not as bad as the Harry Potter ride, which has like puke stations on the exit, which I've ridden, which it needs that ride. If anyone has ever gone to do the Harry Potter ride and you haven't done it yet, go through the line queue and look at all the amazing things on the line queue and then exit. Don't ride the ride if you have any slightest motion sickness. Little extra tidbit, because they install puke stations at the end of the ride because it makes so many people throw up. This one is not that bad. If you can kind of handle the other Star Wars ride then in the park, then you'll probably be able to do okay, but if you're really sensitive to it at all, I'd think twice. Or just take some motion sickness pills, go on at once, and say, "Hey, I rode that," and then you're done, right? Okay. All right, well, those are my thoughts and everything else on Galaxy's Edge and blah, blah, blah. Just don't even, like I said, the detail's amazing, but if you're going there looking for anything, original trilogy, or even prequel trilogy, you're not going to find it. It's all about Disney Star Wars. It's all about Disney property. It's all about Disney. 100%. And it's going to wear out. So hopefully it won't be like 5 years and they realize, wow, we need to change this whole land to something else and tear it all down and, put something else there. Or add something to it that is original trilogy, the Rebellion or, the Empire, something like that. Add a whole section. There's space there. They can add a little section that is that. Change couple of the stores. That's all they would have to do. But anyway, all right. Well, thanks for watching this one. Now that I've re-recorded it without it being all jumpy and stoppy. So that was, anyway. Thanks for watching. Take care.